Hello, my name is Debo Adejana, a real estate entrepreneur, MDCO Realty Point Limited. They call us the Sack Your Landlord people. And this is Real Estate Business with Debo Adejana. You're welcome. Now, in this episode, I'll be continuing on the tips I'm sharing for somebody that is on site constructing. Okay, I started out in one of my earlier videos talking about the importance of how to get your building plan, get your bill of quantities, and using that and your price bill to be able to negotiate with your builder. That would help you and save you a lot of money. I told you about that. It helps you to be able to control your cost, your quantities on the site. Okay. Now, today in this episode, I'll be sharing more tips. I'll be right back. Welcome back. Now, I have just about 2 tips to share today. 2 tips, majorly, okay? One is that, once you move to site, you do what you call site clearing, okay? You clear your sites and all of that, of debris, of weed, of the topsoil, just the topsoil, because it's not good for construction. Basically, your properties can't be resting on that. So you clear it. Normally, that's the first thing you do on site. They call it site clearing. One major thing you need to pay attention to is that on most sites in this tropical part of the world, we have stumps, okay? Trees that have been cut or part of trees that are falling, that are still left in the ground, like that. Still rooted to the ground. Some of them alive, some of them dead but still rooted to the ground. You need to ensure that you uproot. The word is uproot all stumps on site. You cannot afford to leave any stump on site, especially within the area where you have your layout. In setting out, you will work with your layout that your architect would have designed, how your property is, the shape of your land, and where the properties or the things that you are building will be situated. That's what you work with when setting out. Now, wherever you have properties, most especially, or if you are going to be cementing or concreting any floor, paving, doing road, or whatever, where you are not going to just live for nature, maybe for landscaping purpose and all, gardening and all, anywhere where you're going to build anything on or do anything other than the natural way the land is on, it is better and advisable that you remove all trees, stumps of trees particularly, uproot them from the roots. The reason is, if you leave the root of any tree underneath those things, say for example your foundation or your road and all, either of 2 things would happen. One, it may die, okay? The whole thing dies off and it starts to decay and then degenerate into dust, as it were, leaving hollow in that space already. Because when you left it, it still had moisture, still had some, so it will occupy the space. But by the time it starts to decay and deteriorate, it will just shrink, and there will be a lot of space, vacuum, hollow in that neighborhood. What it means is that whatever you've built on top of that can give way, can just collapse, can go in. If it is your structure, I've seen structures collapse because of this challenge. I've seen road, collapse because of this challenge. So you need to be careful to remove it totally away from the site. Very important. The other thing that can happen is that it gains life back. It starts to grow back. And of course, you don't want to imagine how powerful those things are. They will break through whatever it is that you have built in there. Over time, tenaciously, they'll be growing every day without you knowing. And by the time they are shooting out, it will be a serious problem. I've seen situations where this has had to lead to having to demolish a property. Okay, so you don't want it to shrink, die, and then create a hollow, and then your property falls through, or go through whatever you've built and also demolish your property or scatter what it is that you have done. on the road, if it is road you've constructed and all of that, you can make a mess of it. Particularly, a lot of people don't pay attention to these things, trees and stumps and all of that around perimeter fence. And what you see is that they break those fence, and just create hollows over time, make it, very treacherous for the people over the period. So you want to avoid that, okay? You want to avoid this major thing. Always make sure that you remove the stumps from the roots and away from the site. That's number one. Number two tip that I will give to somebody on site constructing is on what you call DPC, damp-proof course, damp-proof membrane. So a lot of people what's the word now? A lot of people confuse this with German floor. Okay, now they are totally different. Okay, now for damp-proof course, the reason why damp-proof course should be done and maintained on all sites, okay, is when you are building to damp-proof, is to prevent water capillarity. Capillary movement of water moving against gravity is what is called capillary movement of water. And what happens, this is what happens. Now, you know that there is water table underneath the ground, okay? Water underneath the ground, and water will always find its level. So when you do your foundation, build and all of that without damp-proofing, water starts to move through the blocks and through the space that you have up, because those things are usually drier than the water table. And especially during rainy season, you realize that. So you see walls that paints are peeling off, okay? Walls that paints are peeling off. That is an example of capillary water movement happening in action there, okay? To prevent all of that from happening, and then you see wardrobes that you cannot use because the whole place is humid, and your clothes are getting bad and all of that because humidity is just too much in the room, smelling and all of that. You want to avoid all of that, okay? Growing some kind of shape or color discoloration and all of those things happening to your clothing, your wardrobe. Some people can't use their wardrobes because some of these things were not done in the buildings that they occupy. And they notice a lot of it happen during rainy season because water table rises during rainy season. Okay. Now, what you need to do to prevent this is to ensure that you do proper damp proofing. And what is damp proofing? Damp proofing is simple. Once you've completed your digging, you've done your blinding, you've laid your blocks, your columns and all of that, you've done all of that to a level of your foundation, okay? The level you want your foundation to get to, and you filled back with laterite or sharp sand, you've compacted, okay? And then you've laid these stones, okay? Big gravel stones on top of it, like that. If you can afford that, it's very important in most areas particularly. Okay, you lay that. You now do what we call damp proofing, which is to lay, there's a type of cellophane material, okay, membrane that is used in construction. That's construction grade, okay, thickness and all. You lay it all over the surface of that building, all over that surface, not just within the rooms. Some people will cut it just within the rooms and leave where the block boundaries are. That is not how to use it. You lay it all across to cover the whole area, okay, of the foundation. Overlap where you have to introduce new nylons, overlap on top of each other so that they overlap at those points. Make sure you cover everywhere. Very, very important. Then use wire mesh, okay, put on top of it, and then cast your concrete. Do your German floor. That's the best way to do it. What happens is that when water is moving and hits that membrane, that nylon, it goes back down. It cannot rise up anymore. Now, if you do it just within the spaces and leave where the blocks are, water will find its level, so it will start growing within the blocks. You need to do it, and it should spill to the edges of the whole area. Very, very important. So if you do this, it will save you a whole lot. And will ensure that whatever you are constructing is livable and is convenient for whoever will occupy it, and it serves the purpose. And you don't create any earth hazard, because it can also create serious earth hazard when a property is not properly dam-proofed, and of course capillary water movement happens. Okay, I believe that you've gained one or two things here. I will continue also sharing as we go on some construction tips to help you on the construction site over the time. This is just 2 for today. If you enjoyed it, please, if you like the video, click on the like button. Click on the like button. We really appreciate it. Yes, you can click it now. If you've enjoyed the video, yes, click now. Thank you very much. And if you've not subscribed to this video, I would encourage you to subscribe to the video and tell your friends if you like. Tell them to subscribe. If you have any question for us, engage us in the comment section. In the comment section, we will be, waiting for you and we would attend to your questions. Please follow me on my social media handles at Debo Adejana, Instagram and Twitter. Okay? And let's meet here again and again and again. I always will share very informative and educative stuff here as regarding the real estate industry. Promises to always be a great time. It's been my pleasure presenting this, and I hope that it's been as much your pleasure also listening. I remain yours sincerely, Debo Adejana. Till I come your way in another episode, keep doing what? Sacking your landlord. Thank you.